when you debase the currency, gives you an optical illusion that asset prices are rising. So this chart of the NASDAQ versus the total liquidity index shows how correlated they are. It's actually 97.5% correlation. Now, the NASDAQ actually outperforms this because it's a secular trend. But this debasement explains almost all of the movements of all assets over time, which is why everything is so correlated. Yes, some things lead, some things lag, but this is the crucial chart to understand. The answer to the demographics is more debt. The demographics is causing a slower economy. And to get over that, they issue more liquidity, debase the currency to pay for it. That makes asset prices rise. This is the everything code, and it's really important.
Wait a minute, everyone. Welcome to Bitcoinzilla, your platform for daily cryptocurrency analysis and news. Our mission is to keep it simple. Bitcoinzilla offers engaging information that is easy to understand. Our analysts keep their eyes on the latest news to provide valuable insights via email. Don't miss out on this opportunity. Join our community of 10,000 subscribers and experience the new edge with Bitcoinzilla. Subscribe now. In today's video, Raoul Pal shares his new prediction for Bitcoin in the next cycle. Raoul also explains his thought process on the crypto and macro big picture. So without wasting any time, let's dive into the video.
You see, most people don't understand that this is the global liquidity index from all the major central banks. It's growing at an 8% annualized rate. Now, once you add in global inflation, and let's call global inflation about 4%, you've got a 12% hurdle rate for any investment. Now, that's pretty staggering, because if you think about the S&P 500, it does about 12% a year. So basically, you're not getting ahead by doing it. Your savings aren't accruing future value, just present value. This 12% hurdle rate is a huge problem for people if you don't understand it. You are basically getting poorer if you don't hit your 12%. So if you're just investing in bonds and think it's a good idea to get the 5% interest, well, your future self is getting poorer.
Unsustainable budget deficits and persistent inflation have Hashkey Capital analysts predicting a $100,000, $200,000 Bitcoin price by the end of 2024. Bitcoin prices surged throughout 2024, fueled by the launch of several spot exchange-traded funds, ETF, and the asset's fundamental role as a store of value. The interest in Bitcoin is expected to persist, particularly as the United States government's continued high spending and interest rate policy discussions prevail, suggested Grayscale's research director, Zach Pandel. We expect persistent inflation and unsustainable budget deficits to contribute to continued demand for store-of-value assets, like Bitcoin, Pandel told Cointelegraph. Predicting the future value of Bitcoin remains challenging due to the multiple underlying variables in play. Yet Jupiter Zhang, partner at Hashkey Capital's liquid fund, sees significant potential for growth, suggesting that Bitcoin could possibly hit $200,000 by the end of the year. Low prediction will be $100,000. Medium one is $140,000, and high prediction is $200,000. By the end of 2024, Jane explained in an interview with Cointelegraph. The positive impact of ETF on the cryptocurrency market has made crypto investments more accessible and appealing to a broader audience. Over the long term, Bitcoin's price behavior will start to mirror that of traditional assets, such as equity and gold. This could potentially lead to more stable growth and integration into mainstream investment portfolios, he added. Venture capitalist Tim Draper has predicted that BTC will triple in value in 2024 due to the inflows into ETF and the impact of the Bitcoin halving. Draper expressed optimism about Bitcoin's trajectory in an interview with Cointelegraph at Paris Blockchain Week, reflecting on his earlier predictions and suggesting a possible rise to $250,000 by year's end, given the positive signs he observes in the market. The introduction of spot Bitcoin ETF in the United States has significantly revived interest and capital investment in Bitcoin. The investment products have opened up a new avenue for Bitcoin-curious investors who might be daunted by the prospect of holding BTC in self-custody and serve as a hedge against devaluing fiat currencies, Draper added.
So when we look at global equities, versus the total liquidity index, we've seen that since 2008, from the crisis when they started printing money, it collapsed, but then it's been sideways ever since. So they've basically offset the balance sheet but done no better. And if we took it from 2007, before the big printing started, it's actually lost 2.54% a year versus the debasement. So you've been poorer for owning equities, generalized global equities, than the debasement itself. So that's cost you money. When we talk about crypto, I use the charts of Bitcoin here because Bitcoin has the longest price history. It too is stunningly correlated with global liquidity. You see, Bitcoin has an 87.5% correlation, not as high as the NASDAQ, because, as you can see, it's the periods of outperformance that lowers that correlation. When we start to get, full kind of mania, crypto mania cycles that you get in this exponential asset, because it is a much more exponential curve, because it's driven by tech adoption. And we'll come on to that in a second as well. But you can see that liquidity is the driver of Bitcoin plus technology. But when I look at Bitcoin versus global liquidity, it's outperforming the debasement by 105% a year. I mean, that's a staggering difference versus global equities, which are not doing anything at all and are probably negative. That's a huge, huge difference in your future purchasing power, which is why this is such an important asset. And again, I'll come on to more of this in a bit. But we've ascertained that technology stocks are in a secular bull market. They're 97.5% correlated, but they've been rising very well over time. However, when you look at NASDAQ versus Bitcoin, this is a crucial chart. So NASDAQ is the best performing equity market in the world, essentially. But when you look at it versus Bitcoin, since this period of debasement, NASDAQ has underperformed by 99.93%. Just wrap your head around that. And it doesn't stop. It's underperforming by 45% a year. And as you can see, we're going to break to new lows, and this chart will just continue. As Bitcoin and crypto eat the world, it's something I call the supermassive black hole. I look at Bitcoin charts versus every asset, and they're all the same. They're all down 99.9 something percent. And then I look at relative values between Bitcoin and Ethereum, or Bitcoin and Solana, and that's where you get to choose what you think the fastest horse is. And that's why I chose Solana this cycle. But basically, crypto is the supermassive black hole, the asset that appreciates faster than anything else, and on a risk-adjusted basis too.
While historical halving events offer some insight, the current situation presents a novel scenario, with ETF introducing more volatility to crypto prices due to fluctuating demand. Bitcoin's recent volatility suggests that the market is adjusting to new supply and demand dynamics, particularly with the global introduction of spot ETF that could significantly increase Bitcoin's demand in the upcoming months, potentially driving up its price. On the flip side, these investments could cost more volatility, as investors can move in and out of funds more easily than they can with self-custody. Zheng said, "Our current model price is $90,000. A more bullish scenario is $125,000, and a bearish one is $50,000. The key factors are the spot BTC ETF net inflows, as a measure of TradFi adoption process, the Fed interest cut late this year, the 2024 BTC halving, creating more imbalance of demand and supply," he added. While predicting the precise value of BTC by the end of 2024 is difficult, there is consensus among experts that its price is likely to see an upward trajectory throughout the year. These predictions are based on the expectation of high inflows into the Bitcoin ETF, the asset quality as a store of value, and the current macroeconomic conditions. And do not forget to subscribe to Bitcoin Seller. The most important news will reach your inbox on a daily basis and for free. I do not know why you have not subscribed yet. If you liked the video, give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more daily updates. Remember, knowledge is power, and we're here to empower you on your financial journey. Until next time, happy investing.